Today, Forestry received a massive update with multiple new rewards, new events, and tons of different ways to drain your woodcutting. In this video, I want to go over everything that was released today, what did I like, what did I didn't like, what changes we might see in the future, and what can you expect from the woodcutting skill going forward. At the end of the video, I will also give you my own thoughts on this update because it seems like a lot of players are not very fond of this woodcutting update. And I'd love to give my 2 cents on Forestry as a whole and my thoughts on this. As always, there are chapters in this video, so feel free to jump around to whatever part of the update you like the most. Let's get started. Okay, let's start with the events. Jagex released 5 new Forestry events with this update, and we're starting off with the easiest one. This is called the Friendly Ent, and it's the only Forestry event available to free-to-play players as well. All you have to do during this event is take a notice on what the Ents are saying and right-click whatever haircut they need. So for example, in this clip the Entling says short on top, and I just right-click the top option. They have other interactions as well, like it says I want a mullet haircut, which I thought was hilarious on its own, and that means the back or the sides. Every time you get the right haircut, you get a little bit of woodcutting and fletching experience along with anima-infused bark, which is the currency used in Forestry. You also have a chance to receive bird nests while giving them a snazzy haircut, and as with every event, your experience is scaled based on your woodcutting levels. I really like that they added other skill experiences into Forestry as well, and you're gonna see later on in the video that you will be able to gain hunter, farming, construction, and other experiences while doing Forestry. This is gonna be extremely useful, especially for Ironmans. The Friendly Ent is the only one you don't need any specific items to spawn, but for the next 4 events I'm about to show you, you do need specific items in your Forestry kit. These items can be used by anyone nearby you for the event to happen, so it's best to do Forestry in a group to save supplies rather than doing it solo. As always, these items can be purchased from the Freaky Forester and then used with other items near an anvil to make the final item. I know, it's a little bit confusing at the start. I'll put the image on the screen to make it a little bit more clear to understand, but essentially you need all 4 items: smoke fuel, egg cushion, trap disarmor, and crystal charm. With these 4 items, you will be able to spawn the 4 new events released today. The second event is beehives, and this one is very simple to understand. For this event to spawn, you do need the smoke fuel item. All you have to do is use your logs to construct a beehive. That's it. As you will see later on, most of the events in Forestry are very simple to understand. It's mostly just one action and that's it. You can use any kind of log to build a beehive and get experience accordingly, and you will also gain a little bit of construction experience every time you place a log. Once the beehive is completed, you will gain extra bonus woodcutting experience and of course anima-infused bark. Jagex is also planning to release a beehive box as a reward for this event, which you can use in your player-owned house, and you can start growing your own bees now. The next event we have is Pheasant Control, and it's also very simple. For this event you do need the egg cushion item to spawn. There is going to be 4 pheasant nests that spawn around the trees. 3 of the nests have pheasants sitting on top of them, and 1 of them is empty. You need to take the egg from the empty nest and give it to the Freaky Forester. That's it. The pheasants do swap around the nest, and if your timing is off, you will be stunned for up to 5 seconds. So you need to make sure you click on the right nest. There is an indication to see when they swap nest. You can see a pheasant is flying off from one nest, meaning it's gonna lay on the empty nest in the next few seconds. There is also an interesting way to get more experience if the empty nest is right next to the Freaky Forester. This allows you to just spam click the nest and the Forester at the same time, giving you very nice woodcutting experience. Unfortunately, you can only get 1 egg at a time, so you can't just spam click on the nest forever, but it's still very fast experience. You will also gain some thieving experience with this and some pheasant feathers. These feathers can be used with needle and thread to create a full pheasant outfit. This is purely cosmetic outfit and you need 60 feathers in total to make the full outfit, which honestly shouldn't take more than 1 hour. The outfit is also in the collection log, so keep that in mind. If, however, you don't want the cosmetic outfit, you can trade in the feathers for extra anima-infused bark, which is nice. I traded in my extra 50 feathers that I don't use anymore, and that gave me over 250 anima-infused bark. There is also a rare chance to get the golden pheasant egg, which can be used with your beaver pet to transmog it into a pheasant. The next event is Poachers, and it's as simple as every other event. Before you can spawn this event, you do need the trap disarm item. There are 3 NPCs who are laying down traps, and it's your job to disarm the trap before the fox gets to it. If you manage to do it in time, you will gain woodcutting experience and hunter experience. This is so far my favorite event. It gives so much currency and experience. As long as you get to the traps before the fox does, you are good to go. And at the end of the event, you even get a big drop of woodcutting experience depending on your contribution to the event. Also, there is a very rare chance to gain the fox whistle, which allows you to transmog your beaver pet into a friendly fox. And the final new event is Enchantment Ritual. And just like everything else, there is only one action you need to pay attention to. During this event, there is going to be 5 ritual spots. All of them are different colors and shapes. And it's your job to stand on the odd one out. For example, here we can see 2 rectangles and 2 stars, and the blue circle doesn't have the correct shape or color, which means it's the odd one out. If you stand on the right circle, you will gain massive boost of woodcutting experience and anima infused bark. These are all the new events that came with the update, and Jagex also reworked the leprechaun events. If the leprechaun spawns now, it also brings a rainbow with the event. And if you stand on the rainbow for a few seconds, you will gain a massive boost of experience when woodcutting. The more rainbows you stand on during the event, the more boost your woodcutting will get. For example, I stood on 2 rainbows, and for the next few seconds, I got almost 500 woodcutting experience from magic logs plus some anima infused bark. And that's about it with all the events. Let's talk about the rewards now. Firstly, let's start with the massive 2-handed axes. To make one, you need 10,000 anima infused bark plus 500 oak logs. The axe has a special effect where it gives you 10% more experience while woodcutting, and you have a 20% chance to not obtain a log. In return, you need to use the forestry rations, which are automatically consumed from your forestry kit. If you don't have forestry rations, the axe works as a normal one-handed axe. I used this item for an entire day and I absolutely loved it, especially when I was cutting magic logs. Seeing those massive experience drops was very satisfying to watch. And this is a must-need item for people who wanna AFK and get good experience at the same time. I also sold the axe later on in this video, and you're gonna see how much profit I made from it. The other items is sawmill vouchers. Now, these were kinda odd items in the first place. I could not for the life of me figure out how they work. But that's basically because I'm probably very dumb. I tried to use the vouchers in the first place, and the sawmill guy says he needs money as well. So I brought money, and it just didn't use the vouchers at all. Instead, it turned my entire inventory into blanks with just money. And then I found out that you need to only bring half an inventory of logs, the vouchers, and the money to get full inventory of blanks. And then I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I can see this being used by Ironmans in the future. They essentially convert anima infused bark into GP. That's about it. In the GE, they currently are like 1k each, which means you save 500 GP by turning 1 mahogany log into 2 planks. It's a decent profit currently, and I would recommend doing this while you can make money with this method. And the final item is Twitcher's Gloves, which has a very simple effect. You have 10% chance to gain more bird nests while woodcutting. And if you right click the gloves, you can choose which type of bird nest you would like to see the most. I always like to do glue scrolls, so I picked the glue nest as my preferred option. And that's about it with the rewards. Like I mentioned, I will be selling everything at the end of the video to show how much profit these items currently are, because most of them are tradable items. Okay, before I'm gonna give Forestry my own thoughts and we sell everything, there is one more big update that came with Forestry, and that is Bonfires, which was the original name in RuneScape 2, and now they are called Campfires. The idea is simple. You can throw your logs into already existing fire and AFK your fire making to 99. It's that simple. Now, all the logs give 50% experience compared to doing this actively, but as someone who needs to get 90 fire making for Master Glue Step and hates Winter Dot, this is an absolute blessing for me. I thoroughly don't enjoy training fire making, so this is gonna be so much fun while I'm editing my videos and getting 90 fire making, which is literally the only Master Glue Step I can't do currently. So you're probably gonna see me doing a lot of AFKing in the next few days. As long as you keep your campfires stocked with logs, they will also never deplete, which is nice to see. Now for the rewards and selling them. Most of the items have pretty mild value, like the conversion rate isn't the best, but you will always gain some decent GP for it. The best item I found was the smoke canister, which sold for 25k GP. And later on I also decided to get more of these items, and that was majority of my profit as well. I also sold my Dragon 200 axe, and it got me 1.2 million GP, which was honestly not that much. But the item is rising in price, so we'll have to see where it lands. I spent the rest of my anima infused bark bark that I got in the past 2 hours and I turned them into smoke canisters because that seemed to be the most profitable item at the moment. And I put all of them into GE for 20k each and they sold for the most part. It took like an hour to sell, but it's safe to say you can easily make 2 or 3 million GP an hour with woodcutting right now. And this money can be achieved while also getting some amazing experience with that. I just used 3 woodcutting spots in Forestry Worlds, behind the Sears Village Bank, next to the ending of Sears Rooftop Course and the Magic Trees next to the Ranging Guilds. I just ran through these 3 spots and I got events almost every 2 minutes. Overall, I think I made like 5 million GP in just 3 hours, which was nice to see. Okay, so what are my thoughts on this update? I've seen a lot of backlash for Forestry and the main reason for that is because the woodcutting expansion as a whole seems very cluttered if you take a first look at it. You have 10 different events. All of these events require specific items to activate. All of these specific items require other items to make them in the first place. And then you have dozen or so rewards that either help you in some ways or just work with the gameplay itself. It's just a lot to take in at once. But honestly, if you get past the clutter and understand that most events are super easy to do and require minimal brain power, I would say for the first time in a long time I actually had a lot of fun training woodcutting. I haven't trained woodcutting once unless it's related to Forestry, and I managed to get from 85 to 89 woodcutting with just this expansion. The experience rates are pretty good, the rewards are mostly all sellable, which means normal accounts can make money with it. The events are also pretty simple to understand once you completed them a few times, and overall it was a pretty enjoyable day. I feel like this expansion has something for everyone. If you want to just get fast 99 woodcutting, if you want to make some money with woodcutting, if you're an Ironman and want to train like 6 skills at the same time with hunter, fletching, farming, construction, fire making, woodcutting, there's just something for everyone. Could the rewards be tweaked a little bit? Yeah, sure. If you had so many things at once, some of the items are bound to not be balanced. But I think maybe in 1 month, 2 months, 6 months passes by and people are gonna have complete opposite opinion on this update. It genuinely does make woodcutting more fun rather than sit at redwood trees for 200 hours until you get level 99. I do agree that the update is a little bit convoluted, like there is definitely a place to trim some of the events and rewards away, no pun intended. Like for example, Forestry brought 12 different transmogs for the beaver pet, which is a little too much in my opinion. Also, a lot of the events are pretty similar in a sense, they just have different skins on them, but I also feel like you don't want to overcomplicate things too much here. And the main downside is all the consumable and charges that you constantly have to look out for, which could be a hassle for regular players. And that's the main concern with a lot of players. It took away the simplicity of old school RuneScape skilling. Me got 3, me see experience drop, me happy. Ooga booga. That's what old school RuneScape really is. Maybe it would have been better if they introduced it as a minigame instead of part of the skilling expansion. Because now, essentially, Forestry equals the woodcutting skill. Like there's no way around that anymore. Good example of the opposite is Guardians of the Rifts. You can play the minigame, but you can also train runecrafting on its own without ever entering the minigame itself. That being said, I'm happy and I'm definitely gonna get 99 woodcutting now. I actually really enjoyed this and it finally gave me a purpose to train the skill, but I also understand a lot of players like the opposite of that. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing so I can pay rent next month, and I'll see you all tomorrow with another video. I love you all very much. Bye.